I hope everyone is doing very well. And today, you know what? Actually, in Toronto, like since the last week, the weather has been so cloudy and not at all sunny that I did not even feel like filming a video. But then I was like, you know what? I think I should film a video because if I just sit there and wait for the sun to come, I might never be able to film a video. So, anyways, here we are again, and in this video we're just going to be talking about how to make a budget, what are some categories that you need to include when you're budgeting, and what are some expenses in Toronto. In the last video we actually talked about tips and tricks to save when you're on a budget, and I'm gonna link that video down in the description, so if you guys would like to watch that video you always can. And let's start this video without any further ado. So the first category that you need to pay close attention to when you are preparing your budget is of course your rent. So your rent maybe basically could be including utilities or excluding utilities. So make sure to include the overall figure when you are trying to make your own budget. So for example, right now the rents in Toronto for sharing are anywhere between 450 to 650 plus utilities, and it's ridiculous and it's very high. And but yeah, that's it is what it is, and we have to live it. And these are the rents for sharing. So private cut I'm not even gonna touch because it's like way higher than that, but these are the rents for like sharing. And 450, like you can still maybe like find some rooms which are very rare between 400 to 450 including utilities. Mostly they will be in basement only, but if you find it, yeah, it's a very rare gem that you have found, and make sure to keep it with yourself. So yeah, so I right now pay 500, but my rent is excluding utilities, so I pay utilities on top of that. So normally like every month we just pay $25 in utilities for everything. And so what I do is that when I make my budget I normally write 525, because I know that the utilities always range like, for us I don't know how our landlord takes our utilities, but it's like always $25, and it's okay because it's cheap and we don't pay that much. So it's 525 that I count for every month. Since now I'm moving, she has not taken the utilities from us since the past 2 months, which is weird. But yeah, so I don't include that in my this month and last month's budget. Now some people would be like, you're not even, so what happens is that I'm not paying anything. Like in these 2 months that we are gonna move out, I'm not paying anything because we gave her like the last month's deposit already, and before that we paid her like a six. No, I'm not paying her the last month because we already paid her for the last month in advance when we took the house. So technically it's not my expense, but when you are budgeting, you have to take into account all the expenses that you incurred in relation to that. Doesn't matter if you accrued it now or before. It's kind of like accounting, but see, the 500 that I am accounting for, I've already paid it, right? So I didn't take it in the first month because it was like it's my last month's rent. So now I'm gonna charge it in my last month. Now, if you charge it twice, like when you paid it and now, then you're gonna have like you're gonna be under in your budget. You will have more expenses. So make sure to like only charge when it is going to be accrued. Okay, this is some accounting, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Second point that you should include when you're budgeting is your groceries. So now if you're cooking at home, it's everything that you will buy: milk, bread, veggies, everything that you will buy to cook for yourself. So make sure to include everything. And then if you are sharing it with someone else, like if you are three friends who are cooking together and the groceries are divided between three, so sometimes what happens is that one person pays, and then for example if मैंने pay किया है $30, and then I'm gonna charge $30 in my budget. But no, actually you have to charge $10 because the other two people have given you the money back. So make sure to charge appropriately अपना fair share जो है, otherwise again you would be over or under in your budget. So now, since I have a tiffin service, in my grocery I include my tiffin kajo paisa hai, which is $120, but plus I also include any things that we buy from the grocery store, just such as milk, bread, or like eggs or something like that. So make sure to include all of that in your groceries when you are trying to find out how much you have been paying. The third point that I'm going to talk about is outside food. So just for simplicity, I have divided all my outside expenses in like little columns so that I know where exactly I'm spending my money. So outside food is basically whenever I go to a restaurant, तो मैं जो spend करती हूँ वो, or if I order or if I take out. So make sure to include all the food that you eat outside over here in that column, because it actually gives you a glimpse on how much you're spending outside of your regular groceries. So that's another column that you would like to make. The fourth column that you would have to make is entertainment. So entertainment may I usually just write down, let's say for example, if I went in that month somewhere where a ticket was required, or somewhere where I spend money, like in if you go to Rec Room, which is a very good arcade place, so it's like a game room. So there are different sort of games in there, and it's a very good place if you would like to go. So if you go there, you have to buy points, and for that you have to spend like $15-20 to buy some points and to play games, right? So that's what I include in my entertainment. Now if I go to the place, there is a $45 entry ticket that I have to pay. That I will include in my entertainment. So any expenses that I use or I pay, I include those in there. Then उसके बाद I have a column for travel. Travel is all the expenses I incur when I travel around the city. So it can be either, make sure to include all the expenses. So not only your Presto expense, also include your Uber expense, Lyft expense, any cab that you book. Make sure to include everything and make sure to separate it. So like just write public transport this much and then cab this much, because it will help you to just get an overall view of how much you're spending on cabs versus how much you're spending only on public transport. So it will just motivate you to spend more on public transport, because cabs are of course more expensive. Then the last column that I like to make is miscellaneous. Now in this column I like to put expenses that are like a one-time expense. For example, if I got sick and I pay the doc like $50, that's a one-time expense. I just got my eyes checked, so for that I had to pay. Again, that's just a one-time expense. So I usually just put that in my miscellaneous column. Also any other expenses, like even shopping, I put shopping in miscellaneous because I know that I don't shop often. So if like summer aa rahi hai, right, so before summers I shop a little bit for the next few months, so I don't try to put it in entertainment, I try to put it in miscellaneous under shopping. If you like, you can again, like if you shop a lot, you can just make another column for shopping. At the end of everything, I add up all the columns. I also make a column for my total income again, कि मेरी कितनी salary आई है. Now over here I include every income I get. So I work right now part time, तो उसकी जो salary आती है वो तो I include in my income, but I also include any credits that I've gotten. Maybe um I was doing something on the side, maybe I just got like $20, I won it somewhere or something like that. I include that in my income for that one, because yeah, that's a surplus for that month. So after the total income and after adding up all the expenses, of course you need to subtract them and then find out if you are in profit or in loss. That means either you have more income or you have more expenses. If you have a more expense bracket open, that means you need to take a good look at your accounts and try to save more money. If you have more profits, if you have surplus income, make sure to save it. Now in the next video we are going to be talking about how to save your money, what are some kinds of high interest savings accounts, some banks, some platforms that give really good interest rates where your money can grow really faster. And yes, in the next video we will be talking about that. So for now, stay tuned and have a nice day. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope everyone enjoys their day. Thank you.